GBH is the largest PBS and NPR station in the country. We produce a significant amount of the content that you see across the nation. My name is Shane Miner. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for GBH. So I started GBH 7 years ago, and at the time, GBH wasn't utilizing the cloud very much. There were some pockets of attempts, but it wasn't sort of a full-bore effort at that point. But actually, leadership was very interested in the cloud and what the cloud could do for the organization. It just was a little hard to get off the ground. So one of my early jobs was to try to help us start that journey.
We have approximately 35 edit suites in-house. At any given time, 100 to 150 people who are on some kind of an edit station. I'm Tim Mangini, and I am the Senior Director of Production Technology. Basically, that means I oversee production and post. One of the things me and my team were always concerned about was when that production is done, they would load their things on a hard drive, come here to GBH, and then we would do a finishing session. It just seemed to me that in the interim, there was a whole lot of wasted energy. Drives going back and forth for the promos, drives going back and forth. And it just seemed like, here's the way we should do it. We should capture once, ingest once, and then publish many times. And the old workflow didn't work for that.
So obviously the pandemic was difficult for us. From a security perspective, we wanted to make sure our media stayed in our firewall, in our building. And that was difficult because most of our edit suites were located in the building, and we didn't want people in the building at all.
The first thing we had to do was get our in-house editors to be able to work remotely securely. We moved, I think, 70 editors in a week.
We used some technology, a virtual desktop sort of infrastructure, to start that journey, to help users be able to access the environment remotely.
And we were filling it up. And pretty soon we got to a point where we had more people on the VDI system than it was designed for.
It was okay, it wasn't great, but it was a start. And actually it had a feature, a collaborative session feature, where producers could look over the shoulder of the editor. And that, I think, changed the minds of many people to say, wait a minute, what can we do in this sort of remote or disparate world?
Then Shane, actually, our CTO, had an aha one day and comes to the meeting and says, guys, what if instead of replacing the VDI infrastructure, we go cloud?
And we started a couple of proof of concepts. We did, with a couple of vendors, worked through what does edit on the cloud look like.
And we had some of our top editors ping it and hit it. And they hit it really hard for about a month each on these different technologies.
They had the kind of low latency, lack of lag, the immediacy and the high quality video that they'd expect from a local edit suite.
The editor could be in Idaho, and the director is in San Francisco, and the producer is in New York.
The costs are only incurred as you use, say, compute, right? So it's only as long as an editor is working with that edit machine are we incurring costs.
By virtue of being in AWS, that means that we can have every editor working on either the latest, greatest, highest end compute CPU that they want, or if they need less, we can pay for less and get them just a basic CPU for their edit station.
And we can upgrade those edit machines much more quickly and much more frequently than we would in the building.
So the greatest advantage for me is in the workflow sphere, right? It means that we can ingest something one time and that everybody who needs it then has access to it.
The deciding factor for me was the tenancy, right? My ability to secure the environment was what, in the end, really drove us towards EditShare, with a secondary piece being that it was in AWS.
There's cost benefit, workflow benefit, and security benefit, all to working virtually in this way.